you talk about women supporting women, and I do want to circle back to the storytelling in a little bit, but I wanted to get your opinion on like women-owned businesses in Omaha, and like, are there any favorites that you want to give a shout out to or tell people about? And, like,
so many.
Well, hello. You're listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast, where we uncover inspiring things about our community through the stories of inspiring people who call it home. I am Dee Harrell, and this is the creator of Oh My Omaha, the blog, and the blogosphere's friendliest face herself, Kim Reiner.
Hi there. Hey, so
all right,
it's just me today. Dee is out doing Dee stuff, so I am going to be steering the ship on my own. Today, my guest is Christi Leupold, and I've known her when I started out blogging many years ago, and I think we just kind of stayed in orbit of each other.
Social media.
Exactly. Orbit. So I've known you for a long time. But she's an Omaha native, and she's blending her creative spirit with an entrepreneurial drive. She has a freelance social media and branding design venture called Designed by Christi. She is also the co-founder of Agrabella Orbis. Did I say that correct?
You did.
Okay. A nonprofit dedicated to empowering individuals to share their stories on larger stages and spark community change. So thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So tell us, like, I'm really interested in hearing more about the Agrabella Orbis and how that came to be, and maybe like explain to everybody what it is.
I love this. So my business partner and I both feel Barry. She is a award-winning playwright. She's an incredible force in the theater world, especially in Omaha, but also nationwide. And her and I have been friends since our firstborn. We had babies at the same time, so we bonded over that. We knew each other. We were like in each other's orbit, but then we had babies at the same time. They both turned 10 this summer. Not enjoying that.
Tween life now?
Yeah. And we've just been in each other's orbit for many years. And many eons ago, I tread the boards at the Playhouse and in Bellevue Little Theater and many different smaller venues around town. But it's been a while since I've acted or done anything on the stage. But her and I did small things here and there through the years. And then as we were trying to workshop and get some of her scripts off the ground, she needed some administrative help and some help to like get things off the ground. And so we started working together that way. And then the brainchild of Agrabella Orbis was born out of needs of society. So the unofficial first production of Agrabella Orbis was when we did Flora and Fauna many years ago when the Me Too movement was coming off the ground. And it was all about survivors of that kind of abuse. And then 3 years ago was the overturn of Roe versus Wade.
Right.
I believe. Was that 3? I think it was 3 years ago.
Probably.
She called me. I was on family vacation at a lake house in Michigan. And she said, we have to do something. And I was like, I'm on board. Let's do something. And then maybe I was with some family that maybe wasn't always aligned with everything that I was thinking, so I needed privacy. So I got out on a kayak with my cell phone, and as I'm on that kayak ride, we had a location, a venue, a date, and we had started building our cast. And we threw this benefit for Nebraska abortion resources and we did a thing that benefited them, and it was telling people's actual stories about that topic, topic of abortion, which is a hot topic. There was all kinds of different perspectives, and it was people's real stories. Flora and Fauna was a scripted piece that we cast.
Okay.
This was the first one where it was actual people's stories. And I even wrote one and someone else performed it. And it was just a very powerful evening. And from that, we were like, we have to do more of this. So that born this venture where we use stories to change lives. People telling the story, it transforms the people, the storytellers, and the people hearing can then relate and understand on a deeper level.
Right.
And we find that that's a good way to raise money for different nonprofits. So we've worked with Black and Pink. Recently was our biggest venture for them in March. And then this summer, Luli Creative House, Ariel Panowitz contacted us, and we launched Stringlight Stories, which, if you've ever listened to the podcast The Moth, we did not copy it, but we were inspired by it. So we came up with Stringlight Stories, and we have done 2, and we are currently casting is a weird word, but we're finding our storytellers for the 3rd, which is going to be Sink or Swim, Stories of Resilience. So we're really excited.
Do you do it? Are they held like not monthly, but is there a time frame, or just kind of when it feels like it's ready?
We've scheduled out the next 2 this last time. The first 2 we were experimenting. We were like, let's just jump in and see how it goes. And this last time, after the second one, we sat down and had more logistics. So more likely be quarterly or every other month. Okay. Just time to receive stories, go through them, pick our cast, and then walk them through the storytelling workshop process. Bo, like I said, is just a brilliant
I hear her name a lot. I've never actually met her,
you would love to meet her.
Yeah, she's just part of the...
she's Omaha zeitgeist.
I'm like 100%. Very, like, Omaha's curated community. She is.
But she is just a brilliant storyteller, and she's really good at walking our storytellers from an idea to a full-fledged performance piece. I don't like using words like that because it feels like you're acting, but it's really getting someone to a public speaking moment with their own story. So it is an art performance piece.
I say there's an art to storytelling, and so if you want to bring the audience in,
her mainly, but me as well, we coach them through that, and we partner with Ariel, with Luli, and the 3 of us. It's really been a lovely partnership. The 3 of us really vibe off of each other really well.
It's amazing. I think that's cool. If
you've never met Ariel, she's also just a gem of a human being. I love working with the 2 of them. It's the pinnacle of like women supporting women. Like, we are there for each other. When one of us is struggling with something, the other 2 pick it up. It's just been a really nice partnership.
Fantastic. That kind of segues. I was going to have a question. I'm assuming since you talk about women supporting women, and I do want to circle back to the storytelling in a little bit, but I wanted to get your opinion on like women-owned businesses in Omaha, and like are there any favorites that you want to give a shout out to or tell people about? And, like,
so many. Well, the now defunct Hello Holiday was one of my favorites. 2 of my friends, Megan had to go do her legislature thing, but now she has Ceremony and Shop 59, which are both in Benson. Shop 59 is like a stationery.
I know Shop 59 because I love
so
notebooks.
Wonderful. But she opened next door Ceremony, which is a clothing store.
Okay.
So she's just doing great things in the community, not only in legislature, but in business. I get her Shop 59 stuff all the time. I love stationery. I love notebooks. I love a checklist. I love a good pen.
Right? My son bought his most expensive pen there, where he's just like, he needs like just he just writes so perfectly.
Yes, I get it. She has some great stuff. Plug for her. They have monthly boxes where they just kind of pick what they want for you, and they send it to you, and I get one of those.
Oh, cool.
And like some things I keep, and some things I put in I have a gift basket of things that when I want to give a gift to somebody randomly, I'll just go through there and pick out.
Oh, smart.
Yeah. There's some regifting things in there, but
I think everyone's got that closet shelf or something.
I'm just not a candle person. So when people give me candles, they go in that basket because they're nice candles. I just don't burn candles. So, right. Anyways, anyone listening to this that has ever given me a candle, thank you for your lovely and generous gift.
Yeah. Wonderful.
But there are some bakeries that I love. So that Wahoo Bakery is owned by the confectionist.
Okay.
And she does amazing bakery work. But she was just in Omaha working as a confectionist, like delivering. That's how I met her. She made cookies for my daughter's birthday. And now she owns the Wahoo Bakery. But she's fantastic. She still does deliveries. Let's see. So Hardy Coffee
Oh, yes.
is a women-owned business from Omaha. But I remember when she started in the downtown, I don't remember, used to be a cupcake shop down on it was like off of Leavenworth. There's that wine bar on the corner. Right by where Blue Barn used to be, the old Blue Barn. Anyways, it used to be a cupcake shop, and then she bought it and became the owner, and it was not even Hardy Coffee at the time. It was something else. And she's grown it into what it is today. And I'm just blown away because she's an Omaha native, and it's a woman-owned business, and she's done really good for herself. So that's a good one. Luli Creative House, Ariel Panowitz. It's an event space. It's a photography studio. It's a really cool spot.
It's very vibrant because I could tell when I see friends share their latest headshots. I know that it's been shot there.
Oh,
usually.
yeah. Well, Ariel has a very specific, she's also a photographer, so she's got a very specific eye for color combinations, and she's really good. But man, there's so many good women-owned businesses. So one of our favorites is Countryside Cones.
Oh, yeah.
That's women-owned. That family is a West Side family. We are a West Side family at our house. But it's a women-owned business, and it's just the cutest little ice cream shop, custard shop in Omaha.
It opened so the kids would sometimes take classes at McGuigan Arts.
Yes, my kids,
So, like, when that opened up, I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, my kids take classes there, too, but... Yeah, and right down the street is Satellite 8, which is a Bungalow 8, a Satellite, which is also women-owned.
Oh.
I mean, so many.
There's a lot.
The women in Omaha are pretty kick-ass.
Yeah.
I like the women in Omaha. And for the most part, there's, the rare exception, but everyone is so supportive and happy for you when you're doing well, even if you're in the same industry. Like... Everyone wants everyone to succeed, and everyone wants the best. And it's just such a positive vibe in this city, especially among the women that I've worked with. Everyone's just pretty cool.
Right. Like I learned early on was like blogging, and I've kind of kept this thought for other interactions with people, but like all boats rise with the rising tide sort of thing. So it's like if you just lift each other up, then everyone's going to do like
100%. And like if I scratch your back, I know you'll scratch my back down the road, and we got each other's backs. And you could need any resources, I got you some resources.
Reach out to you.
Yeah.
So with your freelance work, where can people find you? Like website, or do you do you pop-ups anywhere, or what's
I don't actually. It's mostly word of mouth and referral. So I mean, I can give you my email address if you want to. But I do have Designed by Christi Instagram, where I put some of my artwork, my digital artwork. But most of it, since it's all freelance, it's other people's brands and, things like that. So there's not a ton of that work up there. I could tell you some businesses.
Right, anything to brag about, anything that you're proud of, or?
I just started working for Omaha Massage and Healing Arts, and I'm really enjoying their brand. Somebody else established the brand, but I've been building on it, and it's just beautiful work. There's some life coaches that don't live in Omaha that I also work with, and I've been loving doing some of their work. I actually do have a part-time job at St. Andrew's United Methodist Church.
Okay.
I do their communications, so I do all their designs and graphics and artwork. So yeah, there's just random things. Somebody hired me to do caricatures for a T-shirt they were designing, and I'm like, you got it. Let's do this. Okay. Yeah. So, I do have an Etsy shop. I don't know why Designed by Christi L, because I couldn't do Designed by Christi. So Designed by Christi L is my Etsy shop. You can buy any of my stuff there. Yeah. So, another women-owned business, Bell Merchant Design, is owned. So Maria, she just, I don't know if I'm going to butcher her last name, Corpuz? It's Corpuz. She owns it, and she does the coolest merch. It's not like just like Vistaprint, slap your logo on it. Like she hires freelance designers and artists to help create masterpieces for you to use as your merch. And she's focused on sustainability and, textile, supporting the textiles and the textile industry that's not harming the environment, you know, so she's really amazing. And she just branched out on her own. Within the last year, she has a storefront down on 13th Street. And we just bought a bunch of keychains at church from her, and she did an amazing job. She was incredible. So I'm going to plug that little woman-owned business. Yeah. She's doing really good work. Mm-hmm.
Awesome, because ever so often I hear people like on Facebook asking, like, where can I buy, like, if I want to get hats or something for my
Bell merch. It's locally owned. It's women-owned, minority-owned.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. Shift into like family life and your free time. It sounds like you had a lot of free time now.
I don't know what that is.
So you have 2 daughters, is that correct?
Yes, I have 2 girls. They're
West Side family.
West Side family.
So we just switched over, transferred to the West Side School District. So this is the first year of being like
okay.
West Side. So far, so
It's
good.
really a good district, and they have a sketchy history as to how the district became, but what I appreciate in the last couple of years, they've really acknowledged that face, you know, head on. Mm-hmm. It was born out of segregation, to be blunt. Okay. But they have, well, you wonder why there's this random school district in the middle of Omaha. Right. Just do a little bit of thinking there.
I guess, I hadn't sat and pondered it.
And it kind of came to be in the 60s, but they've faced that head on. Mm-hmm. Like, they're acknowledging that, and they're not, I mean, it wasn't the people in leadership now that did it, but they're acknowledging it, and they're learning and being better and all that. And there's a huge focus on inclusivity and unified students.
Right. So that's what, when we transferred, I just know, like, to disparage where my kids went to school before, but it was a parochial school, so it wasn't very diverse, and it wasn't people from different backgrounds, and so it was refreshing to go back to, because when my kids went to like daycare and preschool, that was Child Saving Institute, and it was just an amazing experience. And
your kids aren't living in like a fishbowl of their, or an echo chamber.
And so it's nice to be back, and Omaha's changed demographically so much since when I was like in grade school, and so I'm glad that my daughter can be.
It's a great school district. Yeah. Like I said, they do a lot on the unified end. So, you know, kids are all included no matter their abilities, disabilities, anything. I'm not sure if I'm saying the right words, so I apologize if I offend anyone. But yeah, I have 2 girls in elementary school. And yeah, one, I just said already, she just turned 10, and it's like getting into those preteen years, and the sass and the busyness and the dance classes, and I was just registering one of my kids for a dance class on the way here. I feel like we're back in the swing of school and schedules, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I feel like a carpool.
Like, I'm glad to have like schedule back, like regular schedule, but it is
I love routine, but my calendar is my best friend. Yes. But yeah.
So what do you guys do like when you have family time?
Yeah, well, one of the things we did this summer that I really enjoyed was like way less expensive than so many other things is going downtown to the new riverfront. There's like 500 different parks. So you can go down every weekend and do a different area and like never get bored. My daughter asked for roller skates so we can do the skate ribbon. And there's so many new restaurants and they've built out that downtown.
I love it. Yeah.
Really well. I mean, it was so weird to me. I'm like, this is where Conagra was for all of my life, and now it's gone, but it's beautiful. New restaurants, Memoir, one of my top favorites right now. There's a poke and ramen place near CHI that my daughter loves because she likes to build her own poke bowls.
Is that in the Capital District?
She went to her first concert this summer with her dad. They went to AJR, which is, I don't know this band very well. My husband does, and my daughter loved the music, so they went, and she got to get her own poke bowl and then go to her first concert, and she was feeling so adult. But we did a lot of the free stuff, like going to the riverfront, doing all the different playgrounds, eating at the different restaurants that are opening. There was a lot that opened in the last 6 months. Yes. I don't even think I've tried them all. I tried Clio a couple weeks ago.
I haven't. How's that?
So good.
Okay.
First thing you need to order is the 4 dips.
Okay.
It's an appetizer. It's like a dip platter. Get all 4.
Okay.
So you can try all 4 because you're going to want to get the hummus because everyone gets hummus because it's safe. It's really good, but the other dips are like really good.
Better.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my clue. But
Yeah.
it's so cute. And we have so many good restaurants opening and expanding. And they're opening a Coneflower out west.
Yes.
I know. I'm like, you don't have to go down all the way downtown or midtown where there's no parking. There'll be a place out west to get Coneflower. I'm so excited.
There is a I don't know the word, but West Omaha lacks like locally owned ice cream shops, and I love ice cream, and it's just kind of like
Ice cream.
Options are
Well,
kinda
there's
limited.
always room for ice cream.
Yeah.
My whole thought is even if you're full, the ice cream will
winter,
go in
it's
between
fine.
all the cracks.
Exactly, it just fills in. So yeah, and so I think I've been to possibly all the ice cream shops, and out west though it's kind of
Coneflower is just the best. I mean, it's the best in the nation, but it's just the best. It really is. And my kids have their flavors picked out. Like one time we went and we ate dinner, we went down to the park, and then we were like, let's go get Coneflower. So we went to their Millwork Commons location, which is way more parking. If you're looking for a more convenient,
It's convenient,
it's still
yes.
downtown, and we don't live that close to downtown, but it's not too far.
see like we're like a Ted and Wally's family, and it's just like we go to like Benson. Not that the parking's much better, but like
It's not as far.
there's no line.
The way downtown.
It's great.
Well, I remember when Ted and Wally's was in its old location, like on the main strip. In the
it wasn't like a narrow.
It was like a narrow building on
almost.
like in that main downtown little square, and then they moved to that spot it's at now. But I mean, that was dating myself. That was like 20 years ago.
I know. We're not that old. We're fine. We're good to go.
Yeah, we love Omaha. My husband and I love food.
Same.
And we like to get out of the house and get the girls moving, and we like to go on hikes. We like Fontenelle. We like Platte River State Park.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm. Are they into? So you mentioned they were in classes at McGueen Arts. So are they into theater? Do you take them to shows? Or
We do. We have a membership at the Rose every year, and this year it's only $75 for a membership. Because
not bad at all. Like,
I mean, with one show, it's $20 a ticket for 4 people. You save $5 on the first show.
Yeah,
And you get 5 shows for $75 for a family of 4. So, anyways,
that's a good plug.
let me plug.
Yeah.
We do. We go to the Rose, and they love it. We have the seats they want to sit in every single time. Little spoiled brats.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have a membership at the Rose, which I think is easy. But then sometimes there'll be shows around town that we'll want to go to, and so we'll take them. But they love theater. They love music. Sometimes, free concerts, like around
a lot of
town,
those,
like
yeah.
at summertime. Like we won't even care who it is. Oh, there's a free concert. Let's just go sit outside, not get out of the house. The Rose, highly recommend.
Right.
They have some good programming this year.
We used to go. We went frequently, and now I think we'd still go to a show or two. Like I love their summer productions. Usually, it's like in
They're doing
Cast
Finding
shows.
Nemo next summer.
Oh, there we go. So we'll most likely be going to see
I went through the whole schedule. I'm like, are you sure you want me to get the membership again this
Yeah.
year? And they were like, yep. And I was like, I thought you guys were maybe aging out of some of this stuff, but they wanted to go to all the shows.
Yep. Yeah, so with theater, like some shows, I'm trying to think of what the next seasons are, or next shows and seasons for different theaters, but we've tried to kind of branch out and kind of introduce them to like other the kids shows are great, but like can they sit through a whole adult
Well, the girls
performance or
went
anything,
with
but
us
musicals-
to White Christmas last Christmas at Bellevue Little Theater. And here's why, because I have a history in theater, so a lot of my friends still do theater, and so they know people through me. So they're like, oh, Jay's going to be in White Christmas. So they wanted to go
That's fun.
see
Yeah.
him. But, but they enjoyed it. They sat through the whole thing, and they like going to that kind of stuff. And I love exposing them to not just movies or anything like that. They like to go watch live theater. They think it's just part of life. And I didn't go to that much. I mean, my first Broadway show in New York was when I was 10. So I am a little spoiled that way, but I didn't go constantly. They go to many shows a year, and I was like, not that many. So, I mean, then I contradict it. I mean, my dad's from New Jersey. So when we would go visit family, we would go up to the city. So that's how I got my early Broadway.
That's cool.
Background.
I think I was a teenager. I can't even think of what show it was.
My first show was Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh, okay.
But then my second show was Les Mis.
Oh, nice. Broadway. I'm trying to think, like, I think we had like an option when I was 16. We were in New York. It was like, do you want to see a Broadway show or something else? And we opted to like go wait in line for Letterman. It was worth it.
When we went to DC in 8th grade, we went to a dinner theater and we saw Oliver. And that was really fun, but it was like a dinner, like I had never been in where like they're like kind of interacting because it's like seating and like tables. And
we don't really have that in Omaha, right?
We used to have a dinner theater, not anymore. The closest I would say that we could get is Benson Theater. Still, like they'll set up with tables on that first area in the front, but they don't serve. I mean, you can have food there. I've had food there because they have a kitchenette and you can hire a caterer if you do an event there.
I was gonna say, like, do you bring it in? Or do you just have a caterer there? Okay.
So we did our Black and Pink fundraiser there in March with Agrabella, and we had a caterer, but it was more snacks than just a full meal. It was like charcuterie and stuff like that. But I did do another benefit there. I don't even remember what it was for, but they catered in a delicious brunch, and it was really good. Oh, it was Buffalo Women. It was Bofield's show, Buffalo Women, and they did a brunch show, and they had this delicious spread of like grits and eggs, and it was so good. And we ate and watched that, but there was still, the actors were all on stage. Lots of dinner theaters back in the day, like they kind of like were in the audience a little bit, but I don't think we have anything traditional like that here in Omaha.
Okay.
But Benson's a really flex space, and they just announced some community partnerships that are looking to do this next season at Benson. Not women-owned, but women-run is Benson Theater. My friend Maddie Radcliffe is the interim director there, and Bofield does their social media.
Awesome.
And they just announced that they're going to be partnering with different community members to get works off the ground, original works. So it looks like a good program. They started taking applications. I think they're taking them until September. I know this is a really big disparity. September or November. I can't remember which one.
This fall.
This fall. That's quite a big gap, but that's a really cool opportunity for artists to get involved.
Omaha has so many playwrights and creative types that have either stories to tell or shows to.
Well, and that's the important thing to remember, is that we don't have to wait for a show from Broadway to option its rights. We can do our own stuff. And we've had theaters in the past that really helped grow local talent. And some of them are coming back. I believe Snap, Shelter Belt were two different theater companies that lost their building a few years ago. And Snap has reappeared. They have a theater space in Bellevue. And Shelter Belt just opened a space in the Omar Bakery building right off Saddle Creek.
Where's that?
That's where Omaha Fashion Week used to be for a couple of years. It's right off.
Because I used to live over there. I'm trying to.
It was an abandoned building for many years.
Okay.
Fun fact: I had my engagement pictures taken there when it was still abandoned, and it got built out. I wouldn't say like maybe 8 years ago. It got built out, and so now it's a lot of different suites. And so Shelter Belt is a theater that really has always fostered local art and local talent, and they just got a space in that building.
Shows when I was worked at the Nonpareil in Castle Bluffs.
So you know all the theaters.
Yeah. So glad to see they're back.
Yeah, they're back. So that's with Benson doing what it's doing now, and Shelter Belt back, and lots of some really innovative people taking leadership roles in these theaters. Like with Snap, my friend Caitlin is now on the leadership there. With Shelter Belt, I apologize if you are a friend of mine and I'm forgetting that you're involved at Shelter Belt. I apologize. They have some great leadership, and it's some of the older leadership as well from the previous space, but then Maddie is doing great stuff at Benson. And yeah, we have the bigger, more established community theaters, but these smaller ones I think are doing a lot for the community and like encouraging people to express their art. And with Benson, their initiative with the public isn't just playwrights. It's whatever kind of production or art you want to explore. Let's talk about it and see what we can do. And I really love that, because, we have the visual art scene, we have the theater arts scene, but then there's a lot of in between, and I just think there's so much room for people to be creative around here.
Right.
And you just kind of have to open up your bubble a little bit to see it's all there. I recently heard about someone whose long-term vision is to open a space kind of like that out in West Omaha, which I think would be, this city has grown.
Yeah, there's a huge population out there.
So much. And everything is concentrated east of 72nd.
Right. I'm trying to think. Like, I think most of the productions are either school related, and that's about it. Maybe.
Yeah.
So that would be great.
This person needs to follow their dreams, and somebody needs to give them a lot of money to do that.
Go for it.
Like Elkhorn has a space, and there's a loft theater, but that's like out.
That's way.
Yeah. And so there's nothing in like West Omaha. I feel like West Omaha is lacking a lot of things, and it's because the city became segregated in a different way when we started traveling out west and building houses further and further west. It became West Omaha and everybody else.
Right. And they have entertainment places, but then for creativity, it's
but like, where would people do a concert out west? Like
right.
Like there's not even a place for someone to do, like there's Slow Down and Waiting Room, but both of those are east of 72nd,
Right.
And what is Sokol now? Didn't they rename it or something? The Admiral.
It's a cool venue.
I haven't been there
they
since
really
they
aren't
did it.
Old historic buildings.
Yeah.
Repurpose, so you have to
it
kind
would
of
just
build
have to be a new building, but why not? I think there's a lot of potential for that kind of stuff in West Omaha. So if you're in West Omaha and you want to open something like that, you should
do it.
I'm just not going to do it.
Right. Most of my family's in Westo, so
well, that's why I'm like, there's so,
and they don't, and a lot of them, it's a trek to venture downtown to go to a show.
Yeah,
so
and I feel like you're missing out on so much, but maybe we could bring it,
right?
Or you can do it yourself.
Yeah,
you've got culture. Not that I'm not a West Omaha person, but
yeah, I grew up in West Omaha. It's okay. It's in my blood.
I grew up I went to Burke for high school, so I was the most west of the OPS high schools at the time.
Okay.
Not anymore, but gosh, old. But yeah, so like right off the interstate, I've always kind of been right on that line, the interstate line. So not west, but middle. I say I'm in the middle.
Yeah. It's I feel like West Side's not quite Westo.
It's not. We have schools down on 70 something.
Right. So what would you like to see in Omaha creatively? What if you could help plan a map for creative spaces or creative community? What would you like?
Yeah, I think we kind of dipped our toe into that.
Yeah.
It would really be nice to have more culture in West Omaha. I don't want to be mean to anybody.
Right, yeah.
There's not art galleries. There's not theater spaces. More restaurants are opening up out west that are really good. So that's not something that isn't happening at all. I would like to see more of it. But yeah, art spaces and theater spaces.
I wonder if
a concert venue.
What would be a space out there that could be a future creative district? I'm trying to think of where.
Yeah. There's a lot of empty lots. Let's just make one.
Right, there you go. Well, it's
put it next to that brand new Hy-Vee out
have
in
you been
Gretna.
to in La Vista, the center where Astros and everything? It just kind of popped up now that there's in front of the Astro.
What that Smash Park over there?
Yeah, that could be.
That would be and there's the Alamo over there.
Right.
So like that would be a good, there's a lot of space there where you could build. I mean, there is the amphitheater, but that's still, there's so much empty land.
Right.
And here's the thing is the waiting room, right? Yeah, waiting room is the one way downtown.
Slow down's way downtown.
Slow down. Slow down is in a new building.
Yeah.
It's not in an old building refinished. So it's like
that whole area.
Yeah, that whole area is
cool.
it's new. It's new build. It's within 20 years. So I mean, you can have a cool concert space that's not in an old building.
Right.
So come on, guys, do it.
Right.
Somebody take the vision, because that's not my forte.
Maybe you can help fundraise for it.
I would help fundraise. Agrabella Orbis could help you fundraise for your new theater space. But yeah, I think that would be cool because this city has grown so much, even since like I was little, that I drive out west and I'm like, there's houses here.
Right? It's changed.
There's never a stop like between here and Elkhorn. You remember you used to have to drive through. It was like so many cornfields you had to get to Elkhorn, and now it's like there's no gap. There's no gap.
It does.
Yeah.
All right. So when we do our show and we ask our guests the same question, where do you find inspiration in Omaha?
Yes. I would say the people. The people here, like I've said, you know, they say Nebraska nice is kind of like silly, but I don't like the word nice because it's not, I think of kind. Like you can't, you know, push us around. That's nice to me. But kind is like we want the best for each other and we cheer each other on. And with the storytelling series, I've gotten to meet some really, really cool people who have inspired me and who have challenged the way I think about things and have pushed me to be more confident and will be like, you need to ask for more for yourself and have, you know, and I'm like, you know, I'm from Nebraska. So I'm like, is that okay? Yeah, no, okay, yeah, oop, you know. But the people are what I think make Omaha unique. And I like that we're a hidden gem. I don't really want a lot of people to find us. I don't need us to be on any top 10 list and then everyone's moving here and changing the vibe. Like, I like how natural it is that people find Omaha randomly. And I've met so many people who've moved here for jobs and then stayed because they loved it. And the people, you know, like we had a storm a few weeks ago and our entire neighborhood, everyone came out of the houses and were like helping. And do you have power? Do you have a generator? Do you need this? We got to get that branch off of there, you know? And it was just, the people are so good to the core and helpful and kind and generous and unique. And they all have their own story to tell. So there, wrap it all back in. Everyone has a story to tell. You may not think you do, but you do, and you never know who will relate to it and who might need to hear it to get past a certain anything or just to feel encouraged or to just not feel alone. And I just love that about Omaha. I love the people.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Before we wrap up, is there anything that you wanted to mention or give a shout out to?
Follow Agrabella Orbis on Instagram and find our website. When's our string light story? Hold on. I'm going to say.
How do people get tickets? Is it just at the door or?
We'll have a link on our Facebook event. They're not very expensive. Our next String Like Stories is on September 18th.
Okay.
It's Sink or Swim, Stories of Resilience, and then we're going to have one in November, and we haven't picked that theme quite yet. And those are the last two for this year. But they've been really, everyone comes and just feels, it's just so good. It feels so good. You know, when you want to like go somewhere and then leave feeling like, oh, that was just so good. Yeah. This is the event you want to go to. Yeah, and if you want to go to Designed by Christi L at Etsy, I got some cute fun, cheeky, silly designs that you can put on a notebook or a coffee mug or a t-shirt. I also do private commissions. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, you're welcome. Right. Thank you for asking.
All right.
Thanks for listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast. We want to thank our guest, Hurrdat Media, all of you for your support, and the Omaha community at large.
So from Dee and I, keep on exploring.